Okay, in this video, I want to talk about something that I've done over these years. It's just that I'm not doing it right. I don't know. Sometimes I'm out of practice. It's about storytelling. And let me go back. When I was young, when I was a kid, or, just young adult, teenager, whatever, if you went to an elder and you had a problem, something that you needed guidance on, and this can be very frustrating. What they would do is just tell you a story. It's like give an example of something that happened to them. Now these days some might say, well, that person is just a narcissist. They just want to talk about themselves. Yeah. But no, what they did was they told a story. Like I said, something that happened to them or somebody they know, just a story, something that has happened. Similar to it. Not the exact story, but similar. And that way, you basically glean from it what you will. They're not giving you a direct answer and telling you how to do it, but you have to use your mind and think what would be the best thing to do. You've got, and it's an indirect way of somebody giving you advice, you see, but they're not giving you advice. You have to make the decisions. You have to pay the consequences for your own actions or inactions, and that's across the board. That's on anything, whether you read it, watch a video like mine. Nobody's telling you what to do. Nobody should be telling you what to do. So now I grew up in this kind of tradition. That's how it went. That's how I did. That's how I grew. How I became telling a story, and people glean from it what they will. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody's giving anybody advice. Pardon the blinker and sounds and the traffic sounds. This is how I do my videos. So anyway, now I have a sister. I have 3 sisters actually and a brother. But this one particular sister, she's 15 months older than I. And when we go to like a party or a get together or something to get, with other people, she and I have this thing. We bounce off of one another, our stories. And we tell stories, and people will actually stop to listen. Okay, anyway, yeah, people would stop, kids, adults, they would stop and listen to the stories, and they always had some, what was it called? What's that word? I haven't used that word in so long. Moral to the story? I seriously have not used that word in ages. It seems like it would be moral, right? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, it's been a long time. And that would work. But since or if there were like, a cat in a box, I'd speak as the voice of the cat. And people loved it, adults and children. Okay, now really, that would irritate me. If somebody else does it, it does irritate me. That they act like they're the voice of the cat or the voice of the dog or whatever. Yeah, it irritates me. So it's kind of funny like that. Really. But other people seem to enjoy it. I don't know. And that sounds so much like I'm bragging about myself, but I'm telling a story in a story. Really. These are how people helped people in the past, in my past. And I don't know if it's everybody's. And I think this is a good way to talk about subjects like narcissistic abuse. And people are always asking, what should I do? Nobody should be telling you. This is my opinion. I could be wrong, but no, unless it's your counselor that's working with you, to figure out what you need to do, because these people can be dangerous, and from what I understand, one of the worst times, if not the most, is when the person leaves. Okay, that's when it could be the most violent, is when the person leaves. The victim leaves. Okay, or maybe even the other way around too. So nobody should be giving you just say, "Hell, leave them." Yeah. I think I wouldn't even glean that from somebody's story either. To what exactly to do, because you do need counselors are best. To me, in my view. But at least you would have the questions. Maybe some of the questions to ask, or ways to see it and ways to think about it, so you can ask the counselor, is this what, is what road to take, what next step to take, what to do next. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I think storytelling, is a good thing for that purpose, and sometimes for the purpose of people don't feel so alone. like they're the only one that's experiencing this. Hopefully they move on from there and get the appropriate, the professional help, not just anybody who says, hey, I've experienced, therefore I'm better than the professionals. That sounds rather narcissistic to me. Always has. But, somebody who is the professional. And I just made a video about, like, if it's a domestic situation, your dysfunctional family, the person you're in a relationship with, whatever, they don't really call it, as far as I know, narcissistic abuse like you call for a counselor. It's domestic abuse. Okay. So, they got to learn the terminology, but the type of terminology you might learn online is not always what people out in the world, in the non-virtual world, use. So remember that. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Talk to you on another video. Bye.